Melanie Woodward's breath burned in her chest as she sprinted down the sprinkler-drenched lawn of Sycamore Park. Her satin HOA sash flapped behind her like a wet flag of defiance. Ahead of her, Melinda Park, the cardigan-clad trader, ducked behind the hedges Melanie herself had designed. Every sprinkler in the park was firing at full pressure, soaking picnic tables, raffle booths, and neighbors screaming in drenched confusion. Somewhere behind her, Agent Stone bellowed into his comms, "Target on foot, northwest quadrant. Civilian asset is in pursuit." Melanie was the civilian asset. She vaulted over an overturned lemonade stand, barely missing a flying lawn chair. Biscuit, her ever-vigilant chihuahua, hot on her heels, barking like a squeaky war siren. Her sandals slipped on the slick grass, but she caught herself, propelled by something deeper than balance. Justice. She reached the mouth of the hedge maze, the one she commissioned 2 summers ago after binge-watching a gardening documentary called Topiary Titans. It was meant to evoke a sense of mystery and refinement. Now it was her battlefield. She plunged into the maze without hesitation, heart thudding. Left. Right. Right again. Dead end. She cursed, "I built this damn trap, and now it's trapping me." Turning back, she collided with Melinda. The soft-spoken librarian wasn't soft-spoken now. She stood tall, her damp cardigan clinging to her like the final remnant of civility, a stun gun clutched in her hand, its prongs glowing ominously. "You just couldn't let it go, could you?" Melinda hissed. Melanie raised her clipboard like a shield. "You tried to overthrow the HOA. I tried to save it," Melinda snarled. "From petty tyrants. From people like you." Melanie advanced, rainwater dripping from her visor. "You plotted a coup at a block party and planted contraband in a community shed. Necessary reforms," Melinda snapped. "You ruled through passive aggression and potluck politics. I enforced order. You enforced napkin-folding standards." And with that, Melinda lunged. The stun gun sparked. Melanie ducked. Biscuit launched himself like a torpedo of tiny fury, teeth clamping onto Melinda's ankle. The librarian shrieked, stumbling back, giving Melanie just enough time to ram forward with her clipboard, catching Melinda square in the ribs. They toppled into a hedge in a tangle of limbs, fur, and HOA trauma. Shrubs snapped. Twigs broke. Somewhere, someone screamed. It might have been Melanie. She rolled, scrambled, wrestled, grabbed for the stun gun. But Melinda twisted away, pinning her by the shoulder. "I will create order," Melinda cried. Melanie wheezed. "This is a HOA, not a dictatorship." Suddenly, a deafening crack split the chaos. A flashbang erupted just outside the maze's entrance. The light was blinding. The noise, overwhelming. Melinda faltered. Melanie seized the moment and drove her knee up hard. The stun gun clattered to the mulch. Then came footsteps, synchronized, heavy. Black tactical boots burst through the hedges. Agent Stone appeared like a thunderclap in human form, followed by 2 other agents and a sweating, red-faced Carl from Lot 11, still holding a spatula like a machete. In seconds, Melinda was pinned, cuffed, and lifted to her feet. As they dragged the traitor librarian away, muttering about zoning conspiracies and the tyranny of decorative wreaths, Melanie lay on her back, soaked, panting, triumphant. Biscuit jumped on her chest, tail wagging furiously. Agent Stone extended a hand. "I told you to observe, not initiate a full-scale insurgency." Melanie smiled, feral and soaked. "And I told you, I am the HOA." By the time the sprinklers died and the chaos settled, the park looked like a war zone designed by Martha Stewart. Folding chairs lay twisted, pastel balloons bobbed in the puddles like soggy survivors, and half-eaten casserole dishes floated solemnly toward storm drains. Neighbors stood in small clusters, shell-shocked and soggy, murmuring in disbelief. Someone retrieved the King of Spades card from the snack table and held it like an ancient artifact. Little did they know it had all started with a white van and a clipboard. Melanie stood in the center of it all, drenched, muddy, her sash askew, her clipboard cracked, and smiled like a woman who had just won an Oscar for Best HOA Enforcement Under Fire. Biscuit shook himself out beside her, scattering water and courage in equal parts. Agent Stone approached, nodding slightly for him, practically a standing ovation. "You did well," he said. Melanie snorted. "I chased a rogue librarian through my own maze and got tackled into a hydrangea bush. Let's not pretend that was textbook procedure." Stone looked around. "You flushed out a domestic cell hiding in plain sight, disrupted a transfer of smuggled arms, and exposed a traitor embedded within a suburban HOA. That's more than half our trained operatives have managed this quarter." "So," she said, trying to keep her voice level, "do I get a badge this time?" Stone hesitated, then pulled a small, shiny metal pin from his jacket. Neighborhood liaison. It's unofficial. Melanie held it like it was the Nobel Peace Prize. Does it come with parking privileges? No. She nodded. Reasonable. By sunset, the real FBI had rolled in. Not just Agent Stone's small team, but a full field operation. Black SUVs with tinted windows, agents in navy windbreakers with stony expressions and clipboards that rivaled even Melanie's. Melinda Park was escorted away in cuffs, still ranting about geranium conspiracies and HOA corruption. Nate Morgan was taken in silently, eyes hidden behind cracked sunglasses. He didn't speak a word, but Melanie caught the flicker of recognition in his face as they passed one another. She met his gaze with calm steel. You messed with the wrong cul-de-sac, she whispered. That night, Silver Pines was unusually quiet. No porch lights flicked on. No dogs barked. The bounce castle was deflated like the dreams of a suburban coup. Melanie sat on her front porch, wrapped in a fleece blanket printed with tiny flamingos, the same one she'd once tried to ban, and sipped warm chamomile tea. Biscuit dozed at her feet, his GPS vest still strapped on like a badge of honor. The King of Spades lay on the table beside her. A mystery still unsolved. Agent Stone had taken most of the files and photos, but left that card, a subtle nod, perhaps, or a warning. Melanie stared at it, eyes narrowing. We're not done, she murmured. The next morning, she called an emergency HOA board meeting. Everyone showed up, bruised, confused, curious. She stood at the front of the clubhouse, clipboard in hand, hair still damp from a rushed shower. We have been compromised, she began, eyes sweeping the room. But order has been restored. There were nods, cautious ones. Melanie continued. This board failed to recognize the signs. Failed to protect the integrity of our bylaws. From now on, we implement stricter protocols for community background checks, HOA badge distribution, and event snack table placement. Frank raised a tentative hand. Do we still have bingo this Friday? Melanie nodded. But with metal detectors. Doris sighed. Can I still bring my Jell-O? Melanie didn't hesitate. Only if it's been cleared by the FBI. They all laughed, nervously, not sure if she was joking. After the meeting, Agent Stone found her standing in front of the clubhouse garden, staring at the newly replaced hedge. You're not going to let this go, are you? He asked. Let what go? She said innocently. The fact that an armed militia tried to overthrow my neighborhood watch? Or the fact that someone left a playing card at my feet like we're in a Tom Clancy novel? Stone almost smiled. We'll be watching. She turned to him. So will I. And with that, she walked away, Biscuit trotting behind her, the clipboard clutched tight. 2 weeks later, the white van returned. It didn't tick this time. It didn't even park illegally. It rolled up calmly in front of Lot 7B. The driver got out, a tall man in overalls, and opened the back doors to reveal a brand new leather sectional. Melanie approached, HOA badge at the ready. Excuse me, she said. Do you have a parking permit? The man blinked. I'm just delivering a couch. She narrowed her eyes. Is that couch stuffed with contraband? Or is it just suspiciously beige? He looked baffled. Ma'am, it's on back order from Crate and Barrel. Melanie paused. Fine, but no more than 15 minutes. And stay off the grass. As he unloaded the couch, she stood nearby, clipboard tucked under her arm, gaze scanning the street, always watching. Because in Silver Pines, peace wasn't given. It was patrolled. And as long as Melanie Woodward and her tiny, justice-loving Chihuahua lived on that cul-de-sac, order, absurd, inflexible, over-regulated order, would reign. Even if it killed them. And somewhere, deep inside a file cabinet beneath the clubhouse printer, a new HOA bylaw was being drafted. In the event of civil unrest, lawn flamingos may be repurposed as signaling devices. And all hedge mazes must contain at least 2 emergency exits. The neighborhood would never be the same again. And honestly, that's just how Melanie liked it.